Good morning, dear students of class 10. Today I am going to teach you chapter 5. The name of the chapter, Factors Leading to the Formation of the Muslim League and its Main Objective. This chapter included one more events, that is only significance of the Lucknow Pact. Today I will teach you factors leading to the formation of the Muslim League. Previously, the chapter we started, that is online classes, that is the first one I taught you, I remembering the second chapter, factors leading to the rise of Indian nationalism in 19th century, then formation of the Indian National Congress and its objective, and the next chapter we discussed, that is moderates, early nationalist period 1885 to 1905, and the previous chapter, just before this chapter today, we discussed, that is the partition of Bengal and the main aims and objectives of the assertive nationalist and the contribution of Tilak, Bal Gangadhar Tilak of Maharashtra, Lala Lajpat Rai of Punjab, and Bipin Chandra Pal of Bengal. Today try to understand very carefully. This is the All India Basis Organization for the Muslims in India. But question, why after Indian National Congress 1885, Muslims in India, they wanted to bring forward one All India organization for themselves. What were the reasons behind that? That is the chapter factor leading to the formation of the Muslim League. It was 1906 founded Muslim League and its main objective. The first point, actually try to understand the divide and rule policy which was followed after 1857 revolved and just time to time revised. This policy, it is very clear to us, a separatist trend actually it was spread in India after following the divide and rule policy. The separatist trend, it was more extending form, it was spreading in India after Aligarh movement. Now, a little bit try to understand what was the Aligarh movement. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was one of the important, he was very true nationalist, but he changed his attitudes after the foundation of the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College in 1875 to spread modern education or Western education among the Muslims or his kinsmen. His old blood groups, and that is why the very important, these schools played a very important role to spread the idea of communalism. A band of loyalists, those are very loyal to the British government, they wanted to specially spread the idea of communalism or separatist trend in India. That resulted formation of the Muslim League, very important background. The first point of the formation of the Muslim League was Hindi, Urdu. You can see the language, Hindi, Urdu controversy. The first point, the first factors led to the formation of the Muslim League was Hindi, Urdu controversy. Try to understand very carefully. These controversy, where it was started in UP. In those days it was called United Province, not Uttar Pradesh. Now we call Uttar Pradesh, United Province, Hindi, Urdu controversy. Urdu was the main language of especially UP, United Province, main language Urdu. All petitions people have to submit to the officials and courts in Urdu language, and therefore those do not know Urdu, those do not know how to write Urdu, they facing problem, especially Hindu facing problem to write Urdu script to specially submit their petition and whatever requirement to the court and officials in UP. Therefore they protested. And they not only protested, they are asking government give them specially one facilities, that is along with Urdu to specially write in Hindi scripts, that is a Devanagari script, especially in UP. The government investigated and instructed The date was 8th April. 8th April year 1900. Date was 8th April 1900. Government instructed that along with Urdu, they also can write petition to submit their court and offices in Hindi or Devanagari script. Devanagari script. They are not specially Urdu but also Hindi they can write. So naturally, when government announced to use both the language in UP, the Muslims became very much disappointed and upset. And question is their question, why in UP equal status giving Urdu along with Hindi along with Urdu. So that is why they raised slogan, and not only that, they hold meetings and they objected on that issue. And this nearly 1 month it was going on and then spread to other corners of India. And after this one Hindu-Urdu controversy, naturally Hindu also protested against that one, Muslims' objection. And naturally the government, especially the middle class, educated Indian Muslim, they have come to realize unless until they do not have any All India Foundation or organization like Indian National Congress, British won't fulfill their demands. As they do not have, as Hindus have what they feel Indian National Congress, that's why whatever they are demanding, government fulfilling their demands. Now we'll try to understand the first point, which is very important. Major question came ICSE, Hindi-Urdu controversy. Once again, Urdu was the main language in UP. Or you can write, Urdu was the court language of UP. The petitions, they have to submit to the court or officials in Urdu, only Urdu language. Therefore, non-Muslim facing problem, they appealed to the government. Government investigated and instructed from 8th April 1900, along with Urdu, they also can use the language Hindi. Therefore, when government instructed, government given chance to them along with Urdu to write Hindi, the Muslims were very much unhappy. They raised slogan, protest meeting, they holding meetings, demonstration, and in nearly 1 month it was specially, no doubt, raised in UP and then spread in other corners of India. But after this issue, the educated Muslim sections, intelligentious groups, they came to conclusion they needed one all India political organization for themselves. From where they can protect their all kind of interest. That is why they wanted to bring forward All India Muslim League. Now coming to the second point. First point, Hindi-Urdu controversy. Second point, Aligarh stand. Aligarh stand. Once again, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, to spread Western education, he founded Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College. It is briefly called MAO College in 1875 in Aligarh, and which now blossomed into Aligarh Muslim University, very famous university of India. The Aligarh stand, what happened? Actually, already I mentioned that Aligarh school became the main focus of Muslim politics. Then what happened when Hindi-Urdu controversy was raised in UP, especially after the death of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan in 1898, Mohsin-ul-Mulk, who was one of the, that time he was the Nawab of Dhaka, he became the secretary of Aligarh School, Aligarh Trust. Once again, 1898, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, who was the founder of Mohammedan Al-Oriental College, he died, and after him, Mohsin Mulk, he led the actually Aligarh movement, and he became the secretary of Aligarh Trust. And Mohsin Mulk criticized government policy, the government stand equal status Urdu and with Hindi, especially in UP. He very bitterly attacked government decision. Therefore, government that time, MacDonald was Governor General of UP. He was very much angry. He immediately threatened Mohsin Mulk either you keep quiet or resign from his post, that is the secretary of the Aligarh Trust. For time being, he kept quiet, but other important influential Muslims, they raised slogan against the government decision to give equal status Hindi along with Urdu in UP. Therefore, that is resulted for, especially they have come to realize they needed one organization. Unless until they do not have any all India organization, British never fulfilled their demand. That resulted to bring forward All India Muslim League. Once again, the second point, Aligarh stand. After the death of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, Mohsin Mulk led the Aligarh movement, and he became the secretary of Aligarh Trust. And this Aligarh School Trust, and naturally he bitterly criticized government policy, equal status, Urdu along with Hindi in UP. And government was, that time Governor General of UP was MacDonald. He was very much especially angry, and immediately he threatened to Mohsin Mulk, either he resigned from his post as the secretary of the Aligarh Trust or keep quiet. For time being, he was kept quiet but not resigned from his post, but other Muslim influential sections groups, they raised slogan against government policy, and they criticized government policy, and they determined to bring forward one All India Muslim organization in India. Now, third point, that point we discuss, but we have to this different angle, anti-partition movement. Third factors led to the Muslim foundation of Muslim League in India, anti-partition movement. The movement started against partition of Bengal, known as anti-partition movement. And anti-partition movement, many Muslims, they participated in anti-partition movement that British did not take especially easily. They are not happy. They like to keep away Muslims from Indian nationalist movement, and they won the mind of the then Nawab of Dhaka, Salim-Ullah Khan. And Salim-Ullah Khan convinced Muslims, educated Muslims, not to take part any Indian nationalist movement. Instead of, they have to become very loyal to the British government if they wanted to fulfill their demands in India. Therefore, many Muslims came away, especially educated Muslims, especially middle class Muslims. They keep away themselves from the Indian nationalist movement in India. And it was also told by him, Salimullah Khan, if they support British in India, they now determined to give them one new province, that is Eastern Bengal with its capital Dhaka. I discussed with you when I discussed partition of Bengal. The Kharjian divided Bengal into two, Eastern Bengal and Western Bengal, to create a solid Muslim bloc against the Hindus. So he pampered to the Muslim, and they are happy. Many they came out, and this also they eager to bring forward one All India Muslim League for themselves, from where they can protect their own all kind of interest in India. That is why anti-partition movement, also one of the important facts, especially led to the formation of the Muslim League in India in 1906. Now the last point, number 4. Number 4 was deputation. This is a very important point. Muslim deputation. It also called Shimla deputation. Muslim deputation. This deputation 1906. the time we talking about Lord Minto was the Governor General and Viceroy of India. The Minto announced that he going to specially expand Indian Legislative Council. And he announced for one committee to set up Arundel committee. According to that committee, he wanted to increase the size of the Legislative Council. And when he announced, then and then educated Muslims in India, they took advantage of the situation. And they wanted to send one deputation to the government, and they mentioned many special facts what they wanted to, especially in India. And this deputation, especially Muslim deputation, this was prepared by the second principal of Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, Mr. Archbold. First principal was Mr. Beg, and Archbold, after Beg, Mr. Archbold became the principal of Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College. He prepared the deputation, and he clearly mentioned the Muslim in India, they wanted separate electorate, the representation, because they are minority in India. And in those days, the time we talking, the beginning of the 20th century, 1906, 1900 onwards, the Hindus were majority and Muslims are minority in India. So to protect themselves in India, most important as they are minority in India, what required? Separate electorate or communal electorate. So deputation led by Aga Khan, then the head of the Ismailiyah sect, and deputation received by Lord Minto. Many times question came ICSE, who led the deputation and who received it? It was Mr. Aga Khan led the Muslim deputation. His designation, he was the head of the Ismailiyah sect. So Muslim sect, he was the head in those times. And deputation received by Mr. Minto, then Viceroy of India. It's very important. So once again, the last point, again discussing with you, Muslim deputation 1906. Lord Minto, the then Viceroy of India, announced to set up Arundel committee. According to this committee, he wanted to increase the size of the Legislative Council in India. If size is widening, more members required. That's why Muslim took advantage of the situation. And they wanted to send one deputation to the government, and deputation prepared by the principal of Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, Mr. Archbold. And it is very clearly mentioned in India, Muslims required to safeguard themselves, and if they wanted to safeguard themselves, they want separate electorate as their minority in India. So therefore, these all four factors, starting from Hindi-Urdu controversy, April 1900, Aligarh stand, Antipartisan Movement, and Muslim deputation led to the formation of Muslim League in India. Study very carefully, textbook, read very carefully. If you read textbook and especially you listen very carefully, the way I'm discussing, I think it is very easy for you. No need to memorize, you try to understand that Muslim League, the most important all India organization for the Muslim section in India, especially the following factors must study. This is very important. Hindu-Urdu controversy and the last point, very important, Muslim deputation. In between all the points, study very carefully. Hindu-Urdu controversy, Aligarh stand, Antipartisan Movement, and Muslim deputation. And short question right from textbook, like what was the Hindu-Urdu controversy? Why this controversy led in India? How this controversy led to the formation of the Muslim League? Aligarh stand, who was then the secretary of Aligarh Trust, and why he criticized British policy, and who threatened him, and finally Anti-Partisan Movement, how led for the formation of the Muslim League, like Muslim deputation, who led the deputation, who received it, why this deputation they wanted to send to the British government, and finally the formation of the Muslim League. The next part I'll teach you the next class. Study well, stay home, stay safe.